Hello, everyone. So welcome to this information session to introduce you to Sentinel North Scholarship and Fellowship Excellence Programs. My name is Marie-France Gévry. I'm the Training Program Coordinator at Sentinel North. I'm glad to introduce you today our programs and to share some tips for your preparation. Our team is also available behind the scene if you need some help for some technical problems. So about the presentation today, we'll go as follows. So first, we'll introduce you very briefly to the program. We'll then emphasize on the Excellence Scholarship and Fellowship programs that are the goal of this session information today. We'll discuss some other opportunities offered to our community and go with the question period. So first of all, what is Sentinel North? It's a research program that is funded since 2015. It's funded by Canada First initiative. We have an overarching goal that is to shed light on the northern environment and its impact on human by means of innovative new technologies and transdisciplinary research initiatives in support to sustainable health and development. And this is the key here to understand about the program. It's about transdisciplinarity, interdisciplinarity, and about new approach technologies. So your project doesn't have to have a technological component, but it has to be interdisciplinary to make it relevant for our program. And it's about the North. Let me tell you a bit more about the priority research access. So all our projects funded actually and in the future has to be aligned with those three axes. First of all, there is axis 1, impact of environmental change on northern ecosystem and infrastructure. Axis 2, environmental health interaction in the north. And last, data analysis, predictive modeling, and knowledge transfer. So very diverse axis. And for you, it is very important to go and read about the research program to help your understanding, to make sure that if you are planning to apply, that you propose a project that is relevant, that insert well in one of those three axes. So there's plenty of projects you can read about on the web, and we invite you to discover it. Sentinel North Research Program is very diverse, as I just said. And this is like a word cloud we did in the past during our scientific session. So there is about microbiota, about light, about climate, about marine, about terrestrial science, about blood-brain, like neuroscience science. So this is very diverse, but all of those have in common that they contribute to a northern problematic. You do not have to propose a project that fits in a project that is already funded by Sentinel North. It can be something else, something new, and can enrich our program, and this is highly encouraged too. So about our community, so like I said, we are funded since 2015. So we are halfway of our funding life. And up to now, we have 70 interdisciplinary teams ongoing during research. It gathers more than 165 professors in the campus, so in more than 8 faculties. This is very impressive. More than 500 HQP are doing research also in the program. And up to now, in the past competition, we've given 80 excellence scholarships. So discussing about those excellence scholarships now, so the competition is open until October 13. So less than a month now for your preparation. Scholarships are available for 3 levels. For master, PhD, and postdoc. With the years, we've been more famous, more renowned. So there are lots of applications we receive, and it has to be. You have to keep in mind that the success rate is pretty low. So it's about 18 to 23%, depending on the level, depending on the competition. So you have to make sure your application is well suited for our program, that you put every element in a good way so you can compete and get a grant. So our objective today is to give you more information about our programs and give you some tips so you can make a difference and make it to the shortlist of laureates. So first of all, discussing about master grants. This is scholarships. The amount is $17,500 per year, and it's renewable once. So for 2 years total. you have to be registered into a Université Laval master program to apply. So you cannot take the grant and go in another university. You have to come at Laval. You have to propose an interdisciplinary research project. So really, like I said, interdisciplinarity is key within the program, and you have to be to put forward a project that has this approach in order to be funded. You have to propose a co-direction that is composed from a director and a co-director of different disciplines. And also you have to make your project relevant for the program itself, so by the axis we have. Regarding the grade, you have to have at least a B grade for the undergraduate studies for the bachelor, and at least an A- grade if you already started your master project. For the PhD, the amount is different, so it's $21,000 per year, and it's renewable twice. So for a total length of 3 years. Same condition as we said for the master, being registered at Laval, and you can envision doing a B diploma path. So it's okay if you can be registered in 2 universities, but at least one of them has to be Laval. And it's the same for the other eligibility criteria. For the postdoc fellowship, it's a bit different. It's we pay you as a salary, so it's $40,000 per year, but it's by the minimum salary. All your social advantage has to be funded with another source of funding, and you have to discuss this with your supervisor. You have to have complete your PhD in less than 5 years, and or to be in the process of finishing your PhD if you haven't done so. You have to be supervised by a Université Laval professor. You don't have to have a co-supervising team here, but we are expecting you to propose an interdisciplinary project, and you have to be surrounded by a multidisciplinary team. So you have to explain that pretty well in your project, because we are expecting you to be interested in doing interdisciplinary research and to propose a project well suited for that. So now, if you are interested in applying after having those information, you have to get prepared. So here is the path to apply. First of all, you have to read all the instruction on our website. So our program is very different than others. So do not copy paste your text that you made for another program. So you have to be aligned with our eligibility criteria and evaluation criteria. So read them carefully. You have to provide 2 assessment reports by the means of referees. So those referees has to attest of your research aptitudes and capabilities. So you have to contact them a few weeks before. Do not wait the last day to contact some referees, because you may not be able to send your application on time. Those referees have to send those reports themselves to us to make those reports eligible. And last, but you have to fill the online application form and provide all the documents that are required. If something is missing, you cannot be eligible for the competition. We don't have the time to go after you and to ask for the documents. So you have to make sure you're responsible for that, to bring all the documents one shot for your application. Now we'll go with some few tips. So this is our 80th competition. In the past, we have seen a lot of good candidates. Okay, so it was a bit hard for us to select the few ones that were on the short list, but for sure there were some that would have passed pretty close to the short list. But in some details, that makes it difficult for some to make their place. So here are some few tips that we just gathered together to help you to make it to the shortlist. First of all, make sure to be concrete, concise, and careful with the presentation of your application, which means that there are several questions in the form, and make sure to do not be redundant and to always say the same thing. You have to answer the question, put the good information at the right place, and to be concise in the way you present it. This will show us you have a great focus on your research and that you know what you want to do. You have to clearly explain the link between your project and Sentinel North research program. So it's not enough to mention that you will work with a researcher that already worked with us. Some researchers that work with us work with plenty of other funding agencies. So you have to understand that what is important for us is that you justify how you are going to contribute to the program. Okay, so not just by doing some name dropping of a researcher that works with us. We want to hear about you. You have to, if your project is part of a larger initiative, be clear about your goals and what you will do yourself. Okay, sometimes it's very difficult for us to understand what will be the contribution of one individual in a large initiative. So be cautious about that. And last, demonstrate the interdisciplinary nature and the northern scope of your project with concrete facts, evidence. Okay, so if your project is a typical northern project that is very easy to connect with a problematic, that may be easier for you. But if it's more fundamental research, you have to explain how your project would contribute maybe in a long research that will help to solve a Nordic problematic. Okay, so it's okay to do fundamental research, but you have to explain what you will be doing and what will be the at the end the result that is the outcome of this larger initiative or long-term research. You have to highlight your experience and achievement, and this is where it's more tricky. You have to take some time, some step back to think about what you've done. Sentinel North Excellence grants are not just about grades, about publication. It's about your experience. We have to feel that you are a good fit for this project, that your background you have and what your vision of research, what you clearly want to do is a good fit for the project, and that what you've done in the past, there is a diversity of experience. First of all, your social involvement and leadership can be expressed in a various way. So it's not just about volunteering. It can be at work. It can be by mentoring. So try to highlight those experiences you have. Try to highlight the competencies you've developed and put that forward, and clearly explain the role you've played. For example, if you've been involved in a student association, it's not enough just to say I was involved in a student association. What have you done? Have you been responsible of an activity? Have you managed some other task? Or you have to tell us about what you've done as an individual, as a unique person. Okay, you have to showcase the diversity of your involvement, and not just in academia. So if you've been involved in caritative organization or whatever, you can tell us about that. What is important for us is to try to understand you and what is driving your career, and to understand about your motivation. Try to highlight your experience and skills in a good way. If, for example, you have an interruption of in your studies, it may be a good thing to talk about that. If it was to work, if it was for an internship, it's a good point for you. So try to highlight what you think it might be not a good thing to do studies on a long term, but if you can highlight why you've done so, then it can be a plus for you. So think about all what you have in your luggage and try to put that in an elegant way so we can see your forces. A few words about our equity, diversity, inclusion commitment. So Sentinel North endorses all those values and is very committed to do better day after day. So we offer a rigorous program, very transparent, inclusive. We encourage atypical path. So there is an error here on the slide. It's atypical. That should be read. We really encourage you to put forward your forces and to help us understand about what you want to bring. If you have interruption again, so you can mention those. And there is the possibility to have a paid parental leave by Sentinel North if you have a kid during your studies. For international candidates, I see there are some few today. I see Brazil, United States, India that are present to this information session. Welcome. Maybe you may be a bit anxious about the pandemic situation. I understand pretty well. You have to. I just wanted to tell you that it's possible to come to Canada. It's possible to come at Université Laval. There are some conditions for sure, but it's possible to come. So it can be. You can realize this project if it's what you want to do. But please plan early. So it's about 4 to 6 months, and it's variable between countries to prepare all those legal documents with Immigration Canada. And also in your country, it may be difficult too. So there are some facilities providing biometric data, for example, that are closed in some country in this period of time because of the pandemic. So please plan as early as possible, and I would recommend to start now if you want to do those procedures. It may be possible to start remotely in some program, but it's not for all the program, and you have to discuss this possibility with your director. There are some resources we provide here if you want more information, and there is also Valérie Marier that will join us for the question period to answer some questions if you have some. Valérie, she's working at the student office for international students. So some few words about other opportunities. We give a lot of importance for international networking. So we provide grants to help you to realize those research internships in other countries, also to participate in some summer school in other countries as well. And we also provide support for postdoc. There is a fund to help you for the publication of open access article as a first author. And we have also a very dynamic training program ongoing on campus and now virtually because of the pandemic with lots of experiential training and also workshops that are organized. We have a student association that is in charge of more of the social aspect and to help you develop your connection with people of other disciplines. So really we want your journey within Sentinel North to be very rich, to help you develop those connections so you can take the most of this experience with us. So here is a testimonial of one of our students that really expressed her gratitude about the program, how it helped her to really deploy a research program in a transdisciplinary setting. She's working with livings. It's Mathilde. And we're now go with the question period. So I hope it was a great pitch for you to help you develop your interest about the program and to envision applying to our competition. Here are some few other resources if you need, the contact email address if you want to contact us for further information. We'll start the question period, so we can stop the recording right now.